everyone. Welcome to episode 6. Today we're going to be talking about things that you can grow here that you might not have realized you could grow here. And it doesn't really take a whole lot of special time and energy to do so. First though, I want to thank the King's Playhouse, the Joan and Regis Stuffy Foundation, and the government of PEI through the Food Security Program. So first thing I want to talk to you about is popcorn. So I know this bag is not very sustainable, but this is all we have left of our popcorn we grew last year. Going to be putting up some pictures of the process. We grew a super cute little tiny, it was called Tom Thumb popcorn. So if you have limited space, this would be perfect for you to grow. The stalks only get like maybe 2 feet high, and the corn cobs themselves only get maybe like a few inches. We planted them out first week of May, so before last frost, and they grew awesome. The kids had so much fun growing their own popcorn, and so did we, and we've been eating it all winter. Yeah, so we planted the Tom Thumb. You can plant a little bit closer together because they're so much smaller. So I think we planted them 8 inches apart. We let the cobs dry mostly out on the stalks out in the field, and then chopped them all down, took all the cobs in the house and laid them out flat, just to dry out a little bit more. And then it was purely child labor picking all the kernels off of the popcorn. But yeah, the results are great. There's loads and loads of different kinds of popcorn. I'm growing 2 different kinds of popcorn this year. We're gonna do the Tom Thumb again, and then I'm gonna do this other one called Glass Gem popcorn, and it's all different colors, and apparently when it's popped, it pops in those colors. Second thing I'm gonna talk to you about is dried beans. So 4 years ago now, I started growing beans that would dry, that we could keep over winter. We eat a lot of beans here. I do a lot of Mexican food, and so black beans especially I wanted to try. So first year I kind of threw them in, not really knowing a whole lot about what I was doing. And we had the most amazing crop of black beans. I was trying to give them away. And then we've just added to that every year. Last year it was one of my biggest sellers at the farmer's market, and we still have our own beans. I've just put them in these bags for today just so you can see them. This is the black turtle bean, as you can see. And this is an awesome bean. I kind of use it as a kidney bean, but it's called a rattlesnake bean. I am doing 7 different types of dried beans this year just because I've had such great success with growing them here on PEI. You literally throw them in the ground and you barely have to water them. You barely have to look at them until you harvest them in the fall. And there's nothing more healthy. I'm not going to get into all the health benefits and nutrients of beans, but it's amazing, and it's just so fun and so easy. Harvesting the beans has become a little bit of a thing here for us because we're doing it on such a big scale now. So we're going to add some pictures in. Once the bean stalks start looking a bit yellow, that's when you know it's time to harvest. So we rip the whole plant out, pile it high. We take those piles into our sunroom and let them dry a little bit more. And then you have to pull all the pods off of the stalks. Stalks just can go into the compost. And then it's popping all of the pods and getting the beans out. It's quite a process. And I think my husband's building me something this year to be able to de-seed the pods that will be a lot faster than my hands. But yeah, I mean, super easy. You could have very limited containers would grow these dried beans fantastic. And you don't need many. There's quite a few pods per plant. So yeah, it's great. They're so much fun. And once you start getting into all the really, there are such thing as pretty beans. It's a lot of fun. Another thing I'm going to talk to you about is melons. We can grow watermelons and different types of melons here on PEI really well. Melons are something that you have to start indoors though, or go to your garden center and pick some up already started if you don't have the space to be doing starters. But watermelons like the heat. We've been getting some amazing hot summers here, and watermelons do not like wet feet, so you want to make sure they're in a hot, very well drained spot. Another thing with watermelons is that you want 3 or 4 plants all grouped together to be able to pollinate each other. To get a good harvest of watermelons. We've been doing watermelons for the kids, basically, I think for 6 years now. And yeah, they're just so much fun, and it's like one of the best things you could possibly eat in the middle of the summer. You harvest the watermelons, and yeah, it's fantastic, and it's really easy to save the seeds from your watermelons to be able to plant them again next year. So, well, yeah, melons are something that has been on our list for years. I'm going to talk to you now about peanuts. So peanuts is something you don't really think that you can grow in Canada, but we can. I grew them last year. I kind of researched quite a bit. Bought the seeds, but peanuts are something that are very finicky to grow. So what you need to do is you get your peanut seed. There are Canadian companies that you can get your peanut seed from. You have to pre-sprout your peanut seed. So by doing that, you actually wet a paper towel, put the seeds inside the paper towel, put that inside a Ziploc bag, and put it somewhere warm and dark. Like I think I put mine on top of the dishwasher and on top of the fridge, so you could see like the heat from those appliances made them sprout a bit. Then we take the sprouted seeds and put them into seed trays. And I put them into smaller pots or seed trays because you want the root to develop quite well before you plant them out. Once your root is established and you have up top what looks like a good leaf, I usually put them out when there was about 4 true leaves on the top. And then peanuts are something that you really want to harden off, and hardening off means you want to gradually introduce the outdoor climate to the plant. Basically you put them out for a few hours every day and keep building that up until you keep them out overnight, and then you plant them out in the ground. Google hardening off, because maybe that's sometimes people have plant failures when they haven't climatized their plants going outside. The peanut is super fun to grow. They do take a very long time to grow here, so be ready to be able to cover them up, because you have to plant them out pretty early, so there's still a chance of frost after they go out, and in the fall they're still in the ground, so there's another chance of frost. We got a row cover last year, but I've been known to run out with pillowcases, sleeping bags, all sorts of stuff to cover things. Peanuts grow underground. They're like a potato. They grow like a tuber underground, and up above is this super pretty little plant with really pretty little yellow flowers. So you can't harvest until that plant starts looking like kind of dead and yellow and stuff, and then you pitchfork in and you pull up all of the peanut tubers. It was an experiment last year because I didn't know whether it was going to work or not, so I didn't want to give that much space to it. But because it did so well and it was so fun, we're actually going to do a whole great big row this year. And yeah, super fun to grow. Another couple of things I'm just quickly gonna say is that if you have the space, if you have a grow light, or if you have a big patio door that's south facing, you can start flowers here that you wouldn't think would grow in our climates as well. Or if you have a little greenhouse, you don't always have to go by we're in zone 5 and that's it. If you have other ways, like for example, I've just sprouted eucalyptus this year for the first time ever. So far so good, the seedlings look healthy, but I'm going to be planting them out into a greenhouse after they've come up a bit more, and I'm going to be using them in my bouquets this summer. So don't always think you can't. Some things you can. If you have a little microclimate on your yard, like a south-facing wall that gets a lot of heat, you could probably grow some really amazing things that you wouldn't think would grow here. Thank you for tuning in today. Next week we're going to be walking through the seeds that are in the seed kits. For people that didn't get seed kits, still tune in. These are seeds that you can pick up anywhere and you can re-watch the video and plant them yourselves. Super cheap, really easy to find seeds. And it's hard to believe that we're nearing the end of the video series, but to anyone who didn't grab a seed kit, please tune in next week and you'll get a lot of information out of it. Yeah, thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun. If anyone has any questions on anything, just look me up at We Rover Farms, and I'm happy to answer any questions at all. And we'll see you next week when we're going to be planting some seeds. Okay, bye everyone. Have a good week.